Radio check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How's it sound? Does it sound better than a headset? Yeah?
Welcome back to what is now going to be the penultimate round of the US Touring Car Championship Virtual Series, also provided by GTR Simulators. Getting quite close to the end of this quite fun run on the road, and almost every free track iRacing has brings me back new surprises I really enjoyed around here. Harry Burrows alongside Jeremy Briggs, not Justin Prince. I am actually going to fix that one for you and credit you properly. I swear, my J's are my J's. Jeremy Briggs, how about that? Oulton Park, very fast, over the country hills and far away.
Good evening. Jeremy here at this 12-turn circuit here tonight. No problem there, Holly. Last minute change there. Anyways, appreciate you having me on the broadcast tonight. Excited to be here at that 2.69 mile left and right turn track. Lots of character. There's lots of passing opportunities. Let's see how the drivers manage that at this track tonight.
Certainly running the fast variant. 2 chicanes we get to skip by on the road. So plenty of opportunities to run at high speed, but I'm curious if any of these drivers are going to try taking some of the faster turns on the track like Knickerbrook Flat. Ones that are usually covered up by a big chicane in the way that they just like to put there for you. Instead, we get the whole journey the fast way around. Drivers getting their qualifying laps done. Now they have 4 laps to run as ever. And we have a smaller field today, but it is some of the faster drivers on the field. On board Austin Racecars, we sort of fly down the fast back section. And then we go up and down hills all around the circuit. It has a ton of elevation change, and it really can have your car push out badly on you. Talk a lot about understeering, the front-wheel drive gear. It remains active as ever on the circuit. Few areas are edgy on the brakes in the back half here, including a corner that really likes to get away from me when I was new to iRacing. It all just goes on for a little bit longer, and it's certainly we're running a long straight. I talk a lot about this car having quite a strong draft model. I think down that back straight, we're actually going to experience quite a lot.
Yes, I don't have a lot of experience with these cars, but looks like high momentum is going to be the name of the game with these front-wheel drive vehicles. As you can see, Ron right here going through turn number 3, down the straightaway to 4 and 5.
A lot of cars can sort of take this kink flat out, but this one can't get loose. You need to stay on the power in order to actually get the finger point forwards, not get off it. That's where cars are going to be on the absolute limit and edge of control. It's going to be really tough to hang in there properly throughout. I mean, you can see some of the stronger drivers here are going to struggle, I think. I do feel like this is quite an edgy car compared to the TCRs on the service, which I actually have been able to try now. I reported not being able to try the new TCRs last week. They're a lot of fun, let me tell you that. And that new Audi is actually quite good. Let's see if Thomas Petre can take this almost flat out section. I wonder if you can. No, you do have to lift in these cars. Look, some other cars with this power can do that flat, but not in a front-wheel drive car. Of course, the front wheels doing all the turning and all the driving. Gravel everywhere, all over the edges of the track as well. Of course, nature of this session as ever. Some drivers, they might not at their full pace be able to get a clean one, but if you get a clean one on the board, it's going to matter a lot for you to jump ahead of drivers in qualifying.
Definitely want to have a good starting spot here tonight, but like you said, that draft may become a factor. You know, the drivers come into these passing zones, high momentum. It might become a sitting duck there. You know, all the cars barreling down on your neck. Like you said, not a big field, but a lot. You know, it doesn't take a lot to have a lot of fun.
There's a couple tracks that are more iconic than others to me when it comes to the free iRacing rotation, and this is certainly one I have many memories of. Used to send us MX-5 drivers to the Foster's layout and just tell us, "You'll survive, you'll make it." And very often did we survive. I worked out the issue with the graphics, by the way, and it was simply that I didn't even have you in the lineup So everybody put your hands together to welcome Jeremy Briggs into the room this time. Credited by name. I didn't have you in the lineup. I've not done a show yet since I got those graphics going. I just assumed that if I point it towards the J's, it will all be okay.
Nope, all good.
This
is honestly my first broadcast. This is my first broadcast of 2026, so that probably doesn't help either. And all the way here in almost the end of March, so kind of late to the game. A lot has happened with all the graphics and whatnot as we watch McColgan here. Ripping this track, heavy braking zone into 5.
It's a British track, so got some pretty iconic corner names. You might need to get these one out on like a chart and start reciting them because old British tracks are always famous for it. Let me find a driver that's about to start their lap and we'll actually do the whole thing. Aston Run just started. Give me one. Give me one. David Brown's finished his laps. My onboard laps do not work. We're going to stick around with Michael McColligan, who has a lap due to debt, and then I'll talk you through the lap in total and the way this track really, really likes to trick you and fool you. It's very, very thin, so I have seen brave passing opportunities on the circuit. I have seen some scary moments, but the track doesn't give them to you for free. Now, if I was a cruel god, I would ask you to talk us for a lap of Oulton Park, but I do recognise that, you know, I'm going to need to handle this one, so that's great. Let me talk you through the lap. Turn 1, Old Hall corner. Little bit deceptively wide on exit, or there's a little bit of netting you can use on the exit of the turn. Our recent iRacing rescanners changed quite a bit. Jump the curbs out of the avenue and watch for that bumpy round-edged curbs on the inside of Cascades. Long straight for Lakeside, and then we go through the island bend on 4, which, as we mentioned, isn't flat and have to be on the edge of balance of. You want to tap the brake to get rotation out of the car into the turn. Then it's Shell Oil's corner. This is the slow one on the circuit. Bold things are going to happen into there. Some might end up regretting it. Long straight. Usually you'd run 2 chicanes here. First one there, not doing that. Over the hill. Keep it planted, keep it planted. There's another one you would take there. We're not doing it. We're going to take the turn called Knickerbrook about as fast as you possibly can. There's going to be a lot of off tracks from drivers running wide down. You want to carry so much momentum on a car that doesn't want to help you. Then up Clay Hill and Water Tower, 2 of the less iconic corners before we throw it right into Druids, which suddenly comes at you a little bit longer than you would expect. Into the final corner, Lodge on the circuit, which I would always, in the MX-5, not expect it to go just quite as deep as it would. I'd expect it to be 90 degrees. I'd spear straight off here. You go down and up the hill, and then you're done with a lap. So we are running the fast variant today. We are going to be flying past each other down the straight. That's a choice they made for us. By the way, we have actually been keeping track of championship points. Well, they have, and they finally let us know on the series. So here it is. Given the point system, Thomas Pitre is very, very likely to be able to wrap up this championship. It's about a 10-point gap from getting first and second if you get some good finishes on the board, and that will be a fun championship in the books for him. Of course, this is just a fun series as the US Touring Car Championship in real life prepares to kick back into action once again, but it's still fun to take one over your rivals. I do need to get your live timing active. Some reason it is all good. It ain't behaving. So, you know, it's just a great day.
All good. It's all good. Getting it all worked out. That's as an oval broadcaster myself, I'm actually really excited to watch a road course race here. That's what makes you a really good producer broadcaster, Howie, is, you know, you just know these tracks so well, and it's really fun to sit back and relax and listen to the way how you call this track the correct way, as I just have numbers on a screen that I like to use.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. I would love to see NASCAR go front-wheel drive. I'd do it. I'd do it. Like, honestly, like, imagine trying to make it through some of those turns. Like, it would not be reasonable. Drivers slowing down now, getting some of their laps on the board finished. We're going to have about 7 or 8 in the lobby. Both Jeremy and I had to sign up because iRacing was very insistent on it. But you won't be seeing us hit the track. Here's Nick Dawson, Latham, very fast, but someone struggles to get a qualifying lap on the books. And that grass, they have removed the netting there. Okay, they removed the netting on the exit of turn 1 when they did the visual revamp of this track. So really are required to keep it into the lines. I'm looking at that gravel on corner exit, and I'm a little bit scared by it. Most drivers have actually finished their laps, have scored ones. You get 4 scored laps. Here's Reto Baumann now, though. He hasn't finished his. In fact, he's just about made it into the lobby. Is it a Volkswagen or is it a Kia?
He's going to get a lap in.
He's going to get one in, certainly, if he has the time. He has the time. If he keeps it on the track, he's certainly going to get one in. And everyone else has been upset. I think Elias Sharm is also here, but actually after 2 laps decided not to set one for the session. That can happen on that corner. That one's not going to be a legal outlap, but we're going to begin a timed one now and see what happens on the board for Reto Baumann. Lots of deceptive corners. I would call Oulton Park a track of corners that trick you and deceive you. Oh no, the netting kind of is there, but that would be on the grass, and that wouldn't be legal. So, I mean, everyone gets caught by that about 50,000 times in their life, and then once they realise it will start catching me, they just start, like, doing it again anyway. They just start jumping onto that part of the track because it's just so tempting and so rewarding for them. Elevation change, of course, all abound on this track. It's a few things that are iconic to me. Hopefully not the sight of a Kia going off the track. Very easy to overcook that. Run by Motorsport Vision, you see the same like red bins off the track everywhere in the distance, and I think I know that from my time at Brands Hatch. Track's very, very similar in terms of the way they are managed and the way they are run and the company behind them. So, same logo and everything, and I regular that one on the regular. If it was free, which I'm not saying it has to be, but if Brands Hatch was free, I would just make every single driver drive it forever until the end of time. But alas, we don't have that privilege. It's popular enough as is. Reto Baumann's first lap not legal. There might be time for him to a second if he makes it over the line of about 1.5 minutes to go. He's got a minute to do this sector. That should be okay. Will obviously be allowed to race. And that is a common mistake on these cars under braking right there. That is that's what we call a learning opportunity. Get it in the books. We'll talk about it. The brake bias is cranked so far back in this car because it's the only way you can get the thing to turn. And one of the things that can happen when you make it unstable, get off the power, is actually not get back on it. Obviously, if you have a rear-wheel drive car and it snaps on you, you get off the power and you try not to spin it. But in a front-wheel drive car, you actually want to get on the power and plant it down because you'll be driving the front wheels forward and you'll try and pull the rear back into line. It is bizarre and maddening to anyone that doesn't quite live in that experience.
Definitely a different animal with that front wheel drive, Howie. And like you said, the rear wheels are kind of just along for the ride, kind of like sledding almost. And you start kind of losing that balance, get the car upset with all that rear brake into it. Like I said, you gotta try to drive it back out, and I'd probably be all over the place myself. These cars, like I said, trying to carry so much momentum right there on the edge, all the way around the track, trying to set a quick time. Tons of rear brake, you can see it glowing.
They're harder than you think, even though they have the front wheel drive like your real life cars on the that you'll be driving often in the world. Most people are driving front wheel drive on the road, but these things are harder than you think, especially the Kias. I think the TCRs are actually a little bit easier to handle. They've got their ABS on them, and I find the setups by default are a bit less edgy. Obviously, the Kia is effectively ancient history when it comes to sim, but it's a joy that it's around. And the USTCC have been running a lot of free content, a lot of fun tracks. Only one more round next week, of course. Something they don't tell anyone about until the day of. I'm not sure Rato's even going to make it to the start-finish line in time. It's going to be incredibly close, but there's 10 seconds in it, and he's sort of got to make it round a few turns and successfully pull this off in time. So I do think we are going to move towards our starting grid just like that. So close to the line. I don't even know if he had an off track. If he had an off track, that wouldn't have counted anyway, and that between him and God. No one else can really know. Full screen grid coming up. 8 drivers are going to make the start, and we're going to be able to cut ourselves off the back. Thomas Pitre is next to Austin Rahn, teammates on the front row. Competitors, as ever, David E. Brown and sits as Nick Dawson. Lavin better start than last week. Tom Pitre is next to Michael McColligan in 5th and 6th. And Timothy Hunter is next to Alir Sham in 7th and 8th. I think I do need to look back. Well, look, we had to sign up to the iRacing session. It wouldn't let us spectate because iRacing is going to try and put Reto Barman behind them. Really, he will line up in the next position on the road because we are doing a rolling start here.
8 cars here for 30 minutes at the distance.
30 minutes. It's going to be around 19 laps here on the road. That portion, we're not doing a full pace at this time. It's only going to be a shortened run around the last few turns of the track. So we're going to be ramping this up to speed real quick. And I'm a bit scared for those first few turns because this track really wants you to carry speed like a brave madman. I think it's in the GT3 Euro Series this week, actually, in iRacing. And it really wants you to just throw the car in, throw the car around, and hope and pray for the best.
Excited to see this group of cars here tonight. My first time watching them from the broadcast booth. Excited to be a part of it. See what these drivers can do in the next 30 minutes to stay on the track. I have a feeling it's going to be some tight quarters racing, especially those teammates on the front row. See what kind of games they want to play. Just want to get lined up and go, or they want to make it difficult.
They do like to battle each other. This is mostly just a fun way to pass their time as their season kicks into gear. And they trust me, they do like to go wheel to wheel, and one will often prove themselves faster at the end of it. Or can you believe we were the ones holding up the grid start, by the way? That's just another glitch in the system, but they are actually moving and rolling now. I mean, next time I will get in the car and I won't outperform some of the better drivers here. Actually, to be honest, I think I will probably finish bottom half, but maybe next time you'll get my special perspective from the edge. It was standing starts earlier in the season. We sort of kept it to rolling now. Not very typical for the touring cars, but it's what we're doing and it's what we're lining up with. That's going to make 9 cars on the grid once we've cut the 2. I'm very interested in Nick Dawson Lavin. Very fast over a single lap when he really pushes for it. But it's Thomas Pitre and Austin Rahn on the front row. When the pace car's in the lead, it can go whenever they please. The green flag comes out pretty early, actually, around here. And away we go. Even over the line for the 56 and the 64. Inside line is going to go to Thomas Pitre. He's going to take the privilege there. I've just heard an engine explode in the back. Maybe I'm hopefully wrong on that. No, I can see a horribly dented car. Oh. That might be Tom Pitre's engine. Might have been a bad shift. I've never seen that in this car. We'll work out what happened, but we don't see a big wreck associated. We just see a car disappear into the distance. The race continues to escalate up ahead. 4 cars in this early line. No one quite running away. If anyone is, Thomas Pitre might first run into the hairpin. 1, 2, 3, 4 a stone. I think you're going to need to set up a pass and really work for it in this race and wait for a mistake up ahead.
You see David Brown right here stalking 3 cars in front of him of Dawson Lathan, Ron and Pitre. And then there's quite a gap behind him to that number 36 with Michael McColligan. 2 seconds to be exact. Back to him. It's a little bit of breathing room, about a 4-car breakaway so far here in the opening lap.
Keep an eye on Tom Pitre, who I've not quite seen this. Here's his on board. I don't figure he hit someone hard enough or we would have seen it. He didn't even downshift that aggressively. I'm trying to work out quite what happened because listen to the revs here. He's in 3rd. Oh, he does shift down to 1 for a second. And even though he makes it back up to 2 in time, that's not going to be good enough. The engine just explodes on the sight of it. That's brutal. I've never ever seen that.
Do they have fast repairs?
Yes, they do have one, but he's rolled his way into the pits, and he's 90 seconds in there, so with the meatball not cleared. So, I mean, it could have been unticked. I'm not really sure. That is so sad. I'm going to have to ask Thomas. Like, are you aware that your family blew the engine in a Kia Optima? Those things are cheap. You can probably replace them.
Probably pretty easy as well to repair that. Pretty simple machines. Woo!
Still got racing
These
equipment.
Drivers are really sending it, man.
I'm checking now. You're making me check now. 4-cylinder turbo, 375 brake horsepower, 2 litres. Still kind of is a racing engine, but it certainly is one of the easy ones. If you could still get your hands on them anymore. The screenshots are back from when the lighting literally looked like it was entirely flat. So it's an ancient one. It is absolutely ancient, but I kind of respect that it's still around. This top group still running in line. They've kept in range of Thomas Pitre. He was 8 tenths, now 6 tenths. So they're in range. That's actually David E. Brown that's falling off the line, and anyone's going to jump in and sort of interfere with what's usually an existing battle. It could very much be Nick Dawson-Latham. It's Thomas Pitre that's the fastest lap around here, but this car's aero model, it's an old one, and it's quite strong even for a car like this.
Great battle back here, I believe, between Brown, Bowman, and McCullough starting to fall back. Not sure what happened there. Looks like a little bit of damage there on the front of that number 53 as well.
Wonder if it was caused by a little bit of contact. No, that may have been just a bump earlier on in the race, but that was just a bit of an over-under into a turn that's quite easy to get wrong, and that set that one up easily. This line might just remain itself a line for some time. It's hard to send a bold, big one on someone around here, although eventually, usually, someone gets brave enough. One thing about taking away the chicanes is you do make the track faster, but arguably you take away a passing opportunity. I think Alastair Lisham off the road just had a mistake running into what would usually be the head. I'm trying to work out where he actually had the mistake. So he brakes here. It's too much on the rear. Bounces off the wall. Now this is an off-road excursion, and I hope he rejoins in the correct direction. If you go the wrong way, you eat a massive penalty. It looks like he does. Taking the escape road, of all things. And then there's another.
No, I think he was going the wrong direction.
If you go backwards for too long, you get DQ'd. But no, he's going to take the escape road. He's going to respectfully make it back. I dig it. It
was 2 and 3. For the turns on that.
That you can technically, if you're crazy, just cut this entire section and do the Foster's layout, and iRacing gives you like a 3-minute penalty for it on the next lap. So it doesn't actually work, but it's very tempting and it's sort of open to you. He just gave us a shortcut for free, and I was hoping he wouldn't get confused and take the track cut and lose where he was, but he has made it back onto the circuit. And just running laps and finishing them may beat out people that end up retiring, because people do end up retiring and making bigger mistakes out of these races. McColligan and Reto Baumann also dueling on the road. There must have been a little bump from Baumann in the first lap, because I did see it when that engine was blown up ahead on the road. But for now, I mean, I want to see how powerful the draft really is if you're in this range, 5 tenths. Moving. I always overhype it, and it doesn't quite land as expected. But I do wonder if you get a very good exit out of that Shell Oils turn, how easy this will be for you. And again, like, the car just gets squirrely under the brakes because you're carrying so much speed, and it really doesn't know what to do with it. The brake bias can be brutal in these things.
Speaking of back on track, only 1 lap down. Tom Pitre back on track after getting that engine fixed up from that bizarre incident going there into turn number 1 there on the start. See how much ground he can make up. Like you said, some drivers may retire, but right now, Tom back on track, trying not to be one of them.
I think Nick Dawson-Latham, if anyone, is the closest driver to making an attack and getting in the way of this usual teammate-friend duo on the road. I think it's all about exit speed out of the hairpin. I think number one, momentum through here. You're not really going to get a pass done unless you're ultra close, but that matters. And it's just exit speed out of here. That, I think it might be Elias Sharm's car that might provide a bit of tow in a lap or two. But if you can put down the power confidently on exit, then you're good. David E. Brown has another meatball flag, second one of the race. This is what I mean by sticking in it might actually end up helping you. Does he do the same thing?
Heavy smoke coming out of his car.
He does the same thing.
Oh,
twice.
Or was he overheating? I'm not sure.
These engines don't really overheat themselves, especially third gear, fourth. Gonna go down one too many. Oh, he went down to one for a second. He goes down to one for a second. And if you do that for a second...
He can still drive it.
iRacing won't like it, though. You do have to actually serve this, or they will keep off the track. You can see 3, 2, 1, and that's the thing that's going to blow it.
Still rolling around. Like you said, you got to come take care of that meatball flag, unfortunately. And like...
Not too much downshift protection in these things. They really do not protect you from yourself. I actually think I have once while just flying down a long straight on like Monza combined. I actually have...
almost contact on the pit road there.
Ahead, trying to what? Is that Elias Sharm up ahead? Yes, it is. He doesn't look like he has critical... I think his car probably isn't handling right from the wall hit, and he's just decided to put it in himself. Now, if you don't take tyres and fuel, this is instant, but the last pit stop was 2 minutes 30. When the driver did take tyres, and happens very slowly. Yes, they are indeed running through those tyres. I always consider it a mistake to take the tyres, but it comes by default. It takes a lot longer in the road cars than you might be used to. It's a 1, 2, and a 3, quite big gaps between them, but it's mostly a hot lapping competition, and I think eventually someone will bite, and someone will make a pretty brutal mistake around here.
Trying to carry so much momentum. I don't blame these drivers for making mistakes when you're just trying to be as quick as you can and carry that momentum around the track. And just sometimes they're just catching it just a little too quick right now. Those two cars right now just out in the distance.
Must have been
right on here with Dawson Litton.
Must have been some pretty poor laps. The seconds back in order to really see the separation happen quite so widely. Last race at Charlotte, Thomas Pietro was able to just sort of run away once he'd taken the lead. Oh, the winner was able to. I struggle to remember quite which of the two it was, but the winner just disappeared once he'd taken the lead. Over here, it's not quite happening. There's still a rain between the two. I think Nick though, might have had a particularly bad turn one because he's dropped another second the moment I look away. That one, or it might have actually been that one. If I take a look at the chopper, we might get a better idea. These first few turns, I mean, they really test you. He's probably just over-slowed it, trying to make it round the turn, which is fair, does make it, but the other two ahead are really, really preserving momentum. Any weird slips into here? No, but Nick is just playing it safe around there. He's playing it very, very safe to maybe get a P3, but not quite else. Austin runs slowly, closing in this gap. I do have a feeling that over the course of this race, something will eventually happen.
I feel a battle brewing as well. Watching that gap, it's closing in just so ever slightly. Trying to get there under a second right now. We got a race potentially here. This is going to be fun. Just about 9 minutes into this race.
We're about 7, make it 8 laps in just a second through the potential 19 that are scheduled on the books. The halfway mark may just come up sooner than you expect. Austin Rahn just trying to make these turns, and you really underestimate how much longer they are than you expect until you really hit the track and you realize, wow, I can't hit any of these apexes. Ever since iRacing scanned the curbs as well, it's actually fine on these cars, but I've known some cars, they hate those weird curbs with like round bumps on them. It feels like they were just placed there out of pure spite and maliciousness by Oulton Park back in the day, and now they've just become a part of the track's eternal character. This is one of those that I really do have to visit, to be honest. There's quite a few tracks that in the UK that I'd be happy to pass on. Stetterton, I don't think I ever have to really see, but Oulton Park is one of those where I kind of would like to run around it on foot to see the whole distance of it. Lots of blind corners. They're really, really tricky.
Drivers are on such edge right now. You can just feel the pressure from Ron. Not letting him get out of sight. Still just at that 1 second mark. Let's see what the lap times look like right here as we get ready to come to the line here in the next few turns. See the gaps right there on the bottom of your screen.
Ron was slower
1.1
last time around. But like, it seems like he's either a bit slower or he's on par. He's never significantly faster. Like 0.49 I'd call on par. 0.70 again, just like slightly on par. Not really making up the massive difference.
Losing just a touch, but not really gaining anything either.
And it's about concentration and focus.
Onboard shot.
This track really is concentration and focus out of all the free runs. I'm trying to work out where they're going to possibly go. And they're not going to tell us because they would never tell me where they're going next. But they have started to run out some of the free options. I know we've done Lime Rock. I know we've done Charlotte. I don't think we've done Ocean Slave. And there was a week I missed on the road. Ocean Slave was a bit of a touring car classic. I mean, you sort of have to take them there eventually if given the option. I would just avoid Snetterton and Oran, but Rutskuggen would be crazy as well, actually. Rutskuggen would be pretty freaky. I would enjoy that one. Still lots of great choices in the free lineup and iRacing. Very good first sector by Austin Ryan. I think his second one is at least going to be pretty close to evens. No, he's faster again on this sector. This has been a very, very good lap.
See if you can hold it to the line. Still trying to carry that momentum. Final few turns on this lap. Just about at the halfway mark this time.
Halfway through the road, that 10 out of estimated 19. Never take those numbers as gospel because they'll find a way to surprise you and shock you and bite you. Someone will just be just like a little bit off. That was a good lap there by Ron. 1.53 gap in it. It's little gives and it's little takes around there, I think. You gain a little bit, you lose it all back. You gain a little bit, you lose it all back. Two identical looking cars line a stow, but one just looking for that way to be faster. And there's going to be nothing more frustrating than being in the same gap to the car ahead and thinking, God, I don't know how to push it up further.
Looks like throughout the field we only have two drivers right now off the track of David Brown and of Alar Sham.
Whoa. I'm trying to work out when my noise gate is cutting off the horrible noises my chair makes. I think it just about does half the time, so we'll take that. Need to relax this late in the night. USTCC runs at 1:30 a.m. for me, and that's after daylight. Oh, we don't have daylight savings yet. I put in the overtime. I put in the overtime to be here. Austin Ryan still within a second. I tell you what, we have had incredibly exciting races here, and then sometimes I have to put a new commentator into a round where it hasn't really evolved yet. I would not fault you for thinking this hasn't really kicked off, but it's always a matter of could and potential. I'll say that. It was always a matter of like one error. One really, really good lap, and there's just a chase to the line at that point.
It's not circles, but honestly, this is a great race here. I know these drivers right now, especially in first and second, are right on the edge and just pushing these cars to the limits each and every turn. I can hear the tires squealing right there on the edge. Man, just within that second for Ron, just trying to sneak in more and just cannot get there. As I have about a 7-second gap over Dawson Lathan. And then Lathan with an even bigger gap behind him with 22 seconds. So breathing room there for all of them. So right now the biggest battle is up front there between first and second. Kind of spread out throughout the field, but a lot can still happen. We still have 12 minutes to go.
I'm waiting to see when one of these laps genuinely faster. It's like Ron gains a bit then loses a bit, and this is a whole second gap on this circuit. It looks like they're getting closer,
big moment
but
right there.
It's pretty misleading, I would say, between the two of them, and it sort of disappears back out. And in fact, he's lost quite a bit now, 1.3 back. So
Yeah,
it's a
big moment that last
lap.
turn. Yep, starting to really bleed right there. Lost about a half a second between the final turn. Oh, and he's spinning out!
And
Can he save it?
Oh,
He does. That was a great save. Unfortunately, probably going to be very detrimental to his race, winning chances. But that was a great save. Let's take a look at that replay.
that's going to kill his momentum. It's going to be just something under the brakes. Not even necessarily too much, but just if the balance is just wrong under sketchy brakes, that's it. That's all she wrote. You don't get another chance. You don't get another chance to recover it. It was well saved through the turn. Wouldn't want to see that thing go all the way around. I do wonder if he actually tagged some grass on the right-hand side. It looked a little bit... Oh, it probably was that grass he tagged.
Yep.
Just keeps him into a spin. He does then keep it going, though, because he understands that you just need to roll it on the power, and you just need to be pushing, and it's so unusual if you're not used to these cars. You think, I have to get off the power. No, put the gas pedal down, and it just goes back in a straight line.
That was a very impressive save. It caught me off guard when I saw it, so I looked up and I was like, oh gosh, there's a car sideways. I thought he was spinning out for sure, and that was a great save, but unfortunately now 4.9, I'm 5 seconds back now from the lead.
And that's going to leave Thomas Pitre with quite the clean, quiet race. Those are intervals up on the side. And unfortunately, most drivers have been fanning out, spreading out, and I've not really had much of a close duel around here, but Austin might be kicking himself about that. But let's keep an eye on some of the drivers further down the road. We haven't really highlighted those. Is Timothy Hunter. A lot of the drivers is just trying to get laps done on the board, quite frankly, just trying to get them through, because every lap is experience and every lap is learning. Some of these drivers race in the real life USTCC, which is...
Oh no!
Yeah, it's off the track for Timothy Hunter. It's a tricky track. It's a tricky track. And
commentator's jinx right here.
Some of these drivers I would consider like novices and new, and they're just trying to get time done, and you got to allow them. There is a penalty for too many incidents. I have seen it hit before. Actually, it has been removed. Previously, it was around 25x. There's actually no incident limit penalty on this race, so that's been adjusted. USTCC, it's sort of like an amateur series for cheap cars on the road, really, more than anything else. It's an affordable series designed to sort of get people modifying basic cars and getting them in. And these sorts of events I sort of see around everywhere. When I attend my local circuit, there are lots of support events I love where the cars are cheaper, but the drivers still have a ton of passion and a ton of love for what they do. And it just completely bleeds in to the action I see on the track. And the USCCC is very similar, getting ready to restart their next season very, very soon. This has been a nice way to hide them over in the winter. I do wonder if Reto Baumann made a mistake, by the way, because you can just see that gap closed up like nothing. It's been quite hard to close up a gap himself. I actually do gravel off the back of that car, so I'm going to assume something did happen. Now, you can't see the car behind here. It's going wide into that second turn, and that has sort of opened this up and turned it into the next chase. It's McColligan on Baumann for P4. About the same distances between the top two. Once you see the other car, your mentality can change a lot.
Turn 2 seems to be a tricky spot right now. Couple for Ron in that turn as well. Pushing hard, trying to carry that momentum through there. You can see the brake lights turn on, but these drivers are trying to get back off the brakes as quick as they can. You see him just trying to catch it. See it going just a little bit there. Got the brakes cranked to the right. Because with that front wheel drive, He just pretty much want the rear end to chase you around.
And he's lost all
Just
that time again. Yeah, just for a tough corner, he's just sort of lost all that time again. You probably didn't notice the moment, but I think he just didn't carry enough speed through the downhill here. And this is where, if you just take that corner conservatively, it's more like a turn 3. You're not going to notice something terribly wrong, but certainly sort of backed it up in the middle of the corner. And that has spread it out again on the road. Looking on the track map, we're not even quite in the reign of lapped cars yet. It's mostly just a few lines. Here's Tom Pietrano back on the road. He's a lap down, but he is chasing down another car further ahead. I believe that is Michael McColligan. I've come to recognise the green whenever I see it. Tell me I'm right. I am right. Tom Pietrano's a lap down on him, but making a bit of a track day run right now. Oh, it's a slide.
Nope. Good save, honestly.
Get out all the time on touring cars. If you just carry a bit too much speed, like the thing just sort of does a sideways slide out of the turn, you really cook up the tyres. I'm not sure how old the tyre model on these things are. I doubt they're going to be getting a season spotlight anytime soon to put them on a brand new one, but they're not on an ancient one either because they're not on ice, so they're on something a little bit in between, and it can be very, very tyre sensitive. And I know things that are older tyre model, they don't really have like a progressive limit like the modern ones do in iRace. Some of the modern cars like the GT3 and the NASCAR Cup cars, sort of, you could build them up to the limit, whereas the older ones would just sort of go over and snap on you as soon as there was a little bit too much heat. And this car, obviously one of the older ones on the service. I do need to check out the official series with these cars on this week because they are at the Charlotte Roval, and I do love that track. Might be driving the Cadillac though.
Blame me there, rocking the Cadillac. At the Roval, it does sound like a blast. Watching these drivers right now, just trying to carry the momentum. Right now, 3 seconds back from Bowman. From McColgan right here. Just trying to chase him down, trying to get one more spot. Looking at their lap times. Retro was a little faster. A second faster lap time. Looking at our lap times throughout the field, obviously right now are the leader with the least amount of fall off. Everybody else pushing almost 2 seconds.
Certainly you've got very high skilled drivers at the front like Thomas Pietrano, and then if you look at the iRacing profile drivers like Michael McColligan, Timothy Hunter, these are some of the earlier laps out on the track on the sim, and every lap is a lap and every learning experience is a learning experience. Always appreciate them jumping up and making it count no matter what. Dorito Bauman sort of running in his own world. I doubt he'll make that podium unless something dramatic happens ahead, but he's just got to get laps done. He just needs to lock them in, and he needs to not make a mistake because McColligan's 3 seconds back. That's not a battle, but it is if you go off the track and do this really badly, it's kind of over for you, and it's over for that place.
You go off track and then it will turn into a battle. Gonna keep that distance, keep your car on track. All you gotta do is click off these laps as the clock is winding down. Look at that right now. We are down to the final 4 minutes. Who can stay on the track to get themselves to the end?
Bit by bit by bit, I'm going to estimate it's going to be about 3 to go. We're on lap 17, and I think we might hit that 19 in time. And then at that point, it's all over. The time finds a way to fly by anyway, for me at the very least. Thomas Pietrano has run into the trap we sometimes run into here, which is run into the trap we sometimes run into when we watch this, which is you never really get to show the leader very much because they're very, very, very good and they're able to run away very quickly. And Thomas Pietrano has been doing a really, really good job of that, just getting away, just getting out of here and just performing where and when he needs to. Don't shift into first and curse me on that. We've seen it happen twice today, and I've never seen that happen in this car. That would make me very sad.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't jinx them.
Not time for a commentator's curse. Not time.
It is not. Right now, about a half a second there faster for Petre than it is over his teammate right now. See what it looks like this time by. Definitely closed in within 2/10. Nice job. Nice lap there for Austin.
Certainly faster out there on the track on that last one. Yeah, it's a getting 35s out of this top two. Best laps have been 34s from our leaders, so they have been backing up the pace as the race goes on and on and on. Hunter, our last driver, on the lead lap. One of our two green cars, but I can tell the difference. One is bright green, one is dark green. And actually, Tom Petre is sort of has been getting closer and closer and closer. And you might, even though you're a lap down, you might as well have a battle. You might as well have a chase and just see what you can do. It's not worth any places, but we're here to have a good time, and Tom is certainly within the range of a battle.
Tom just trying to put those laps together, get that experience. You know, right now, learning to pass is just, you know, if you need it, you know, this is a good time to try to figure it out. Get comfortable with these cars, comfortable with like, this is a fast track here for these cars, and just in my opinion, that's what it looks like. It just feels like a fast track. It's a lot of just pedal to the plastic. I'm sure there's metal in these ones, but and then heavy braking zones, and just trying to get right back into it. I'm not sure how much an arrow hurts right here, if any. Probably not at all, to be completely honest with you.
Probably not aero limited. That thing is probably just sort of keeping you glued enough. They're very, very, very much boxy little things. And pedal to the plastic is a fun one I've heard, because it is the evolution of a road car, so it does make sense. We're on the final lap for Thomas Petre, and I'll keep an eye in a second, but Tom is getting awfully close to the back of McCollogan. Doesn't get it done here, and Thomas is rounding his last lap on the track. And with this, I mean, we have been given championship standings. There's 10 points gaps between first and second. And Thomas is about 50, 60 ahead. It's almost certain that if he doesn't crash out next week, which is not something he's ever done, he is going to wrap up a lovely little virtual championship among him and some colleagues in the business. Has earned it week after week after week. There is going to be one more race, of course, next week, our championship finale. But until then, Thomas is just rounding the last few corners to get this one done.
3 more turns to do it. Finish this up, round it up. It looks like he was a little sideways there, not going to lie. Just pushing it hard, trying to finish this race up. 30 minutes into the race. It looks like the number 56 is going to come to the checkered.
Another easy win on the board. Thomas Petre takes a clean one. Didn't need a fight for it this time at Oulton Park. Austin Ryan, his eternal rival, wasn't able to get there at all this time, and slots it in P2, and Nick Dawson-Leatham gets a good qualifying this time and is able to just convert it into a P3. The pace wasn't quite there in order to go any further, but he will take that on the board. That makes our top 3 final few drivers just finishing their laps around now. Tom Petre has sort of been looking at the rear of Michael McCollogan like, oh no you don't, oh no you don't, I might just do it, I don't think you'll get it done. That's a lot of speed to carry though. You can see sections of the track where he actually is faster than the car ahead. That will make him the last car on the track to cross this line. And then we have our finishing results across the board. A clean one. Certainly a challenging track. I think to expose the differences between even the best drivers, like the stark differences between them, to have 10-second gaps between the 3 of them. It's one that sometimes can lead to that, but I do find it fun nonetheless. Here is our race results. Might include us, which we can say hi to the camera, give it a nice wave on the way out. I did not. Did better than that. Thomas Petre beats over Austin Rahn and Nick Dawson-Leatham in 3rd. Reto Barman's in 4th. Head of Michael McCollogan, Timothy Hunter, Tom Petre, David Brown and Elias Sham did not finish the race. We will have some chance for some interviews in just a second. Drivers do pop into this Discord. Indeed, it was not a trick, Jeremy. They do actually show up here. Gives us an easy job to do. So, yeah, that's our top 3 lined up. So let's talk to our race winner first, Thomas Pitre. Thomas Pitre, you definitely, another race where you were able to take the win and run away. I would quite like to talk to what happened to your family member, though, on the track. Are you aware of the roller coaster he had today? Come on. Hello, Thomas. Do you get a copy? Maybe he doesn't, and we'll do this in reverse. Okay. Oh. My Discord is acting weird. The stream is still up. My Discord is certainly acting up. So I am just going to, according to my OBS, this is coming out perfectly fine. So, 1 second. Let me change the broadcast channel here. Yeah, it claims Thomas is getting disconnected. I think that's me that's actually getting disconnected. Honestly, like, this channel works. We might just use this, and you 3 are going to have to just take your time one by one here. So we'll begin with Thomas Pitre. Thomas, an easy win over the line today, but the real question I have to ask is, are you aware of what happened to your family member in the same race on the first lap?
Yeah, we're all sitting in a call together too. He just downshifted too quick and blew it up.
Not the first driver to do it. Not the only.
Yeah, it sucks, but it happens sometimes. You just gotta drive the rest of the way for the points.
Is this track more fun or more stressful for you? It certainly looked like these cars were being quite pushed to their limits through every blind, misleading corner.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this track, especially without the chicanes. It kind of just feels like a big lime rock. I preferred the tracks that are a bit more technical, where you can't really make up the difference just drafting down the straight. But a win is a win, so I'll take it.
Any other thank yous or shout outs on what is now the penultimate round, in which I would pretty confidently say you're likely to score the most points out of by the end of next week?
Yeah, thanks to you guys for making such a great broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch and see what I missed and see it from your guys' perspective. And it's been a fun series up to this point, so we'll keep it going for next week.
That's Thomas Pitre. We are actually sitting in the transfer room because for some reason that channel up above has like a curse and it doesn't work for me. So I'll leave Jeremy of Austin run.
Yes, we are here with Austin Ron. Austin, man, you were doing great there at the beginning. Besides that one little slip up with that great save to try to keep your race intact, do you think you had anything there for Thomas?
With that 1 inch of grass, we'll never know for sure. But in my heart, I don't know that I did, man. I want to believe, but I gave it everything I had. And you see what happened there.
Yep, you were definitely racing on edge. I could see all the drivers out there just really wheeling those machines, trying to keep the momentum up. It's exciting to watch from up here. Is it that exciting from your seat?
It was exciting for me coming into this week. To be honest, once we learned what the track was for this week, like Thomas said, it's not my favorite track, but mostly because I'm bad at it. So it was a little stressful in the beginning, but once I got the rhythm, other than that inch of grass that got me, it ended up being a really fun race. Really enjoyed it.
It was fun to watch from up here. Just to put perspective, Thomas's best lap was a 6:13, and you were a 6:64. So you definitely had that 1 lap speed pretty dialed in there. So definitely close. What could have been. Before we let you go, who do you got to thank for getting here tonight?
Like Thomas said, thanks to you guys. Appreciate that, and to my family for letting me sit in the corner of my house and drive a pretend race car. Can't say thank you enough for that one.
Can never go wrong with the family support. Appreciate your time, Austin.
Thank you.
Finally, we have Nick Dawson. Let me unmute in Discord. We'll do that one more time. Finally, we have Nick Dawson Latham in P3. He had a better qualifying than last week, but you just weren't really able to make up the ground around here.
I tried my hardest to learn that track within the 4 laps I had. I decided to make a dumb decision and install a new wheel during practice. Not my funnest moment, but it was fun trying to get everything situated and relearn this track within that time.
Were you able to make any sense of it? I mean, it seems like every corner here is misleading, and it's painful to watch a front-wheel drive car not be able to take some of this flat.
I couldn't make sense of it, but the two ahead of me could, and that's the only ways I was able to learn. So thanks to you guys for driving fast and then promptly driving away. But trying to make the best of what I can, just trying to learn as I go, and watching somebody faster than you have good driving lines is the best teaching you can get on the spot.
Got any ambitions for the last round? I know that you don't really get to know the track in advance in any way, but still one more chance to have a good result. Do you want to bring it to the teammates up ahead?
I mean, if you guys do end up running into each other, like, I'm not going to be upset, but I might be a little bit. But I'm hoping for a good race. I love racing, watching these two race ahead of me, trying to figure out what they're doing. These guys have been nothing but amazing this whole series. Shout out to Thomas for basically throwing through the whole series undefeated, which is insane, honestly. So I'm happy to see what we can do at our last race and see what we can do and push forward.
Any other thank yous or shout outs?
Yeah, GoGo Gear, Hanks Filtration, and GTR Simulators for helping me put this on. You guys for the amazing broadcasts, and my team Rookie Esports for always keeping my support under me.
Always good to speak to you, as well as the whole top three, of course. Thank you very much. I guess I'm going to stay here to wrap up the show because I don't know what's going to happen when I move channel. So that marks the end of another round of the USTTC. I've been told there's one more on the books before they potentially return to the real track down the line. But it's been fun as ever to bring these weeks to you. And I do wonder where they'll take it next. I say, as someone who has every influence over that decision, listens in and gets to find out. I've been Harry Burrows alongside Jeremy Biggs, credited correctly this time for the outros.